Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We are considering that marvelous concept of Samskara and Vaasanas for all life forms, and more importantly for human life form. Therein we considered Mooladhara, Vritti, Vaasana, Samskara. We considered Swadishthana, Vritti, Vaasana, Samskara, and then Manipuraka, Vritti, Vaasana, Samskara. Now we come to Anahata, Vritti, Vaasana, Samskara. Anahata Chakra is the plexus above Manipuraka. So after Mooladhara there is Swadhisthana, after Swadhisthana there is Manipuraka, and then after Manipuraka there is Anahata. And its location is heart region. Mysticism speaks about Anahata Naada. This Anahata Naada is in the heart region. So insofar as the body mapping is concerned, this is related to heart region, as Mooladhara is related to Guda, anus. Swadhisthana is related to genital. Manipuraka region is located in belly, or more often referred to as Nabhisthana, Udarasthana, Nabhisthana. And the Anahata is in Hridayasthana. Now, in human psyche and consciousness, there are certain psychomental acts, psychological mental acts, psychic acts, consciousness acts, which are brain acts, brainy acts. We need brain for certain aspects in life. We need the brain to function for certain aspects in life, like mathematics, logic, science, scientific mindedness. You need the brain evolved. Brain has enormous functions in certain domains of human endeavor. But there are certain human endeavors which are in the domain of the heart. And these are the functions carried out by the heart. Love, affection, reverence, affiliation, affinity, art forms. So the heart becomes important, and we understand certain things are expressed as hearty feelings. If we are to congratulate someone, or if we have to express sorrow and sadness, condolences, etc., the expression is heartfelt condolences, heartfelt congratulations. We don't say brain-felt condolences and brain-felt congratulations. So, the heart has important place in certain human activities, mental activities. So, the heart region scores over in the psychomental domain, emotional domain, and that is why any mental upset, the heart will be palpitating unusually. Heaviness of the heart also is experienced, which is emotional heaviness. Like sometimes your legs are heavy, your arms are heavy. It is not in the same way that your heart is heavy or the chest is heavy. So, There are mental activities, psychomental activities which are connected to the heart region, and therefore we know that it is a psychomental locus. This heart that is being referred to is not necessarily coronary heart. The other heart is not known to exoteric anatomy. However, there is that another heart which is referred to in mysticism. So, the heart, and more precisely the Anahata Chakra, it is the locus of Vritti, Vaasanas, Samskars. And that is what we are going to consider now. Now the Hearty tendencies, unlike the Manipuraka chakra, they are related to past life and past lives and our past incarnations. We should recall that Manipuraka vasanas or samskars were referred to as the newest of vasanas. And the Mooladhara and Swadishthana had a cord with previous lives and previous incarnations and previous manifestations. So is the case of heart. It has cord with Janma Janmantara, Purva Karma, previous incarnations, manifestations. In vernacular, we have expressions such as somebody is something at core, then we say he is at the bones. That means something is at core. Somebody is a teacher at core. Somebody is an artist at core. Somebody is a lawyer at core. Somebody is poet at core. Somebody is a literator at core. And in vernacular, the expression is, he is all that in the very bones. But actually, more precisely, it is all at heart. So somebody is teacher at the heart, teacher in the heart, teacher from the heart. Somebody is artist in the heart, from the heart, by the heart. Somebody is poet or literator, similarly, in the heart, from the heart, of the heart, or somebody is a lawyer, somebody is a mathematician at heart. So somebody is whatever the disposition that one has, it comes from heart. That is the reality. So, understand the role of the heart in somebody's making. Somebody is businessman, somebody is artist, somebody is poet, somebody is literator, somebody is artist. And it all stems from, primarily from heart. So therefore there is something referred to as psychic heart or emotional heart. And this is endorsed by Patanjali, because in one of the sutras that is going to follow in the 3rd chapter, Patanjali relates the chitta to Hridayam. Hridaye chitta samvit. So the chitta has enormous affiliation with the heart. So we have certain hearty tendencies, we have certain hearty dispositions, we have certain hearty personalities. And that's why it has a unique place in Oriental psychology, Indian psychology and yoga psychology. The heart stops at the point of death, but heart has journey of transmigration. Rest everything is left behind. The entire anatomy is left behind. Physiology is left behind. Even the coronary heart is left behind. But this heart, psychic heart, emotional heart, it has journey thereafter. Because it is locus of human consciousness. The human brain will be left behind here by a mortal. And in mortal remains, you don't get anything of the heart. But the heart that is spoken of in mysticism, it transmigrates. So that is the reason why Patanjali says Hridaye Chitta Samvit. The roots of the mind, psyche, consciousness are in the heart. And I recall a passage from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad called Hridaya Brahmanam. One is advised to look into that passage of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Hridaya Brahmanam, where everything is related to heart. Everything comes from heart, is from heart, and that is what the mysticism says. So there are hearty tendencies. Now let me tell you, in the light of our times, we have this system of deciding on one's own profession, vocation at a tender age and premature age, at the end of schooling, where one is 14, 15, 16 years old, and one has to decide upon what one is going to do for lifetime. It's absolutely unripe to be deciding on that point in time, because the attractions and the gravities in teenage up to the age of 15 and 16, where one decides on one's own profession and vocation, it's a tender condition, and one decides there itself as to what one is going to become in life. And that's why we have messed up with psychomental health, because many times we opt for something for which we are not really meant for. If we expect a child at the age of 16 to decide as to what would be the profession, or what would be the profession in life, so one decides to be a doctor, engineer, whatever, lawyer. Now that is unripe age to be really deciding and then going with some obsession in pursuit of it and achieve the goals and become that in life. So it is many people who at the fag end of the life realize that I ended up doing what was not my cup of tea. I invested my whole life in something which was not of my predilection or my disposition. And that's why we mess up with our life. So the hearty tendencies do not develop for everyone when one attains puberty, or one comes at a stage when profession is decided. And later there is remorse and repentance that I ended up doing something which was not proper for me. I was unfit, I was misfit. But my obsession in that age of premature mind decided to take up something, and I invested my whole life into it. And at some stage, the Harda Vasanas start sprouting. It is very few who are said to be child prodigies. They show their hearty tendencies in that tender age, and that's why we call them child prodigies. All of us are not child prodigies. Whatever you are not a child prodigy to be that. So at later stage it manifests, hearty tendencies manifest. Like even for a male child, the moustache would appear after some years and not by birth. The femininity of a girl will not manifest the moment the baby is born. It has to come to age, and then the womanhood starts manifesting for a girl, and the manhood starts manifesting for a man, for a boy. So similarly, in the mind, certain things manifest. Although potentially they are there with the birth, by the birth, yet they don't manifest. And therefore many of us realize that we were on wrong track throughout the life. I should have been an artist, but I became an engineer. I should have been a musician, but I became a physician. So they sprout at in a later part in the life, and therefore we realize that we were misfit for what we opted for in life. So one is whatever in life, vocation, profession, could be a professor, could be a lawyer, could be a physician, and maybe he is successful there. That's called Laukika success. He might be in worldly success, but he is having discontent in the mind. It is because of what he is in life as a profession, vocation selected in life, he is not contented because the hearty tendencies are stampeded for quite a while, quite some time, but later they start manifesting, and he realizes or she realizes that I had inclination for something like painting and art, music, and I discouraged it. So because of busy life in profession, this is what happens to hearty tendencies. They are stampeded. At the same time, you see some people, they are in particular profession or vocation, but they do something that is called vyasanga in vernacular. So might be they will be having a lot of heart for literature. One might be engineer, one might be civil engineer to mechanical engineer to aeronautical engineer, but there is a hidden potential for literature. So when they satisfy the hunger and thirst of the heart, they have contentment in life. Those who are not quenching the thirst and hunger of the heart, or do not answer the call of the heart, they might be successful people in their profession, in their vocation, in the world, but they do not have contentment in their heart. So once a person realizes that I am inclined to be pursuing music, whatever time allows, he starts picking up a flute or a musical instrument or maybe even vocal music, and he satisfies his thirst and hunger for music. He may not become a proficient musician, he may not be applauded by others, but he has contentment at the heart by his own music, by his own pursuit. Painting. Many of them take recourse to painting. They realize that it's a call of the heart, and they end up doing painting for whatever time available in the busy day of their profession and occupation, and they get that contentment in life, just having quenched the hunger and thirst of the heart. You don't have to become proficient there. You don't have to attain any mastery. So some people who are inclined for painting, it's a hearty call. They just take a canvas or they just take a paper and do some painting, and they get the satisfaction. That painting may not be applauded by others, it may not be appreciated by others, or the music of such person may not be appreciated by others. It might be disliked and hated by others, yet he gets the contentment at the heart, just having quenched the hunger and thirst of the heart. So these are hearty tendencies. So they give a lot of contentment and accomplishment, sense of accomplishment. So one who is able to indulge in the hearty tendencies and satisfy them, answer their calls, thirst and hunger, he gets that contentment to brim, which successful people in the world don't have it. Many successful people in the world are discontented. They don't have sufficient contentment. It is because they overlook the tendencies of the heart. What am I at the heart is so important to answer, and also invest some time into it, time and energy into it. Then one gets the contentment of the heart. So usually people are looking for contentment in life, but they do not understand that real contentment comes from just keeping engaged in what hearty tendencies ask for. You don't have to accomplish, you don't have to stand out, you don't have to be outstanding. You have to just quench the hunger and thirst of the heart, and that gives enormous contentment. This is because the hearty tendencies are there, which are overlooked because of the influence of the brain, particularly in teenage and young age. We so much depend upon the intelligence, and intelligence has so much of gravity on us that it completely mitigates the gravity of the heart. And many of us cannot really identify what is really the heart palpitating for. But once one realizes it and then gives some time every day to that, then one gets contentment to brim. The point is, there are vrittis, vasanas, samskars from the heart. And evolving the heart takes quite a long time. The brain evolves quite rapidly. We know that, you see the child, the infant, we see the brain developing for a baby. So it rapidly develops. But the heart starts at a delayed point in time to develop. So that is the predicament. Except for few child prodigies, for others it takes a long time. It takes several years of our life for the heart to develop. Brain develops quite quickly. and there is also a stage that brain doesn't develop thereafter in life. However, there is long life ahead, but the brain development ends at particular age, which is well inside the halfway mark of life. But the heart develops, if I may say so, a little beyond the halfway mark of life. And that's why it is overlooked and neglected. So the heart is locus for contentment. Where is one getting contentment? Not in the brain, it is in the heart. So that's why the heart plexus is so important. Now coming to Yoga Shastra, let me tell you that it is a Nadi Moola. Hridayam is Nadi Moolam as much as Nabhi is Nadi Moola. So navel is the region from where many nadis sprout, originate, and heart is another locus. And this has been referred to in Upanishads, that Hridayam is Nadi Moolam. It is said that there are 101 nadis originating from heart, and out of the 101, 100 nadis have branches. They have 72,000 branches each. So the 100 nadis have 72,000 branches each. But that one nadi doesn't have the branch. So therefore, the heart houses 72 lakh of nadis. 72 lakh 1 precisely. So 7.2 billion 1. 7.2 million 1. Those many nadis originate from heart. So that's a unique thing to understand, that 100 of the 101 nadis have 72,000 branches each, and the one nadi doesn't have any branch. Here is what is divulged by Upanishads. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, I referred to this little while before. There is a dialogue between Yajnavalkya and Shakalya. So one should look into that passage, which is dialogue between Yajnavalkya and Shakalya. So just to briefly mention the content of this passage, of obviously being dialogue, this is question and answer form. So I will briefly mention this, the question answer series that you get in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So question, first one is, which is the presiding deity of the East? Answer, sun. Where is this established? In our Pindanda, in Chakshu, that is eyes. Where is the Chakshu, or in what the Chakshu is established? It is Rupam, the form. And where is the Rupam established? It is in Hridayam. Then, which is the presiding deity of the South? Answer is Yama. Where is the Yama established? Answer is Yajna. Where is the Yajna established, or in which is the Yajna established? It is established in Dakshina. And where is the Dakshina established? It is in Shraddha. And where is the Shraddha established? It is in Hridayam. Which is the presiding deity of the West? It is Varuna. Where is the Varuna established? It is in Jala, that is water. Where is the jala established? It is vrittis, that is semen. And where is the semen established? It is in the heart. Which is the presiding deity of the north? It is Soma. Where is the Soma established? It is in Diksha. And Diksha established in what? Satya. And where is the Satya established? It is in the heart. Which is the presiding deity of the Urdhva Disha? That is above the head. Answer is Agni. Where is the Agni established in the embodiment, in the Pindanda? It is in Vak. And where is the Vak established? Vak is speech. Where is it established? It is established in the heart. So, then Shakalya draws courage to put up next question. He says, where is the heart established in? In what the heart is established? This was arrogance. This was crossing the limits of inquisitiveness. So Yajnavalkya is infuriated. So Shakalya, even later in his dialogue, goes for this Ati Prashna. He indulges in this perverted questioning. And infuriates Yajnavalkya, and the consequence is that he is beheaded by the celestial forces. Yajnavalkya doesn't behead, he gets beheaded for his arrogance and for his perversion in questioning. So anyway, point to be noted, everywhere the final answer is heart. That is the point to be noted. And therefore in esoteric anatomy, physiology, mysticism, heart has a unique place. And let me first just sum up by saying, quoting Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hruddeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat parah shanti sthanam prapsisi shashvata. The liberation comes from heart. Liberation is in the heart. Liberation is of the heart, where one goes to immortality. So also, another verse in Bhagavad Gita refers to heart. Sarvasya chaham buddhi sannivishtaha. I reside in the heart of all, says the Lord. And then he says, mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So that's the importance of the heart. And that is why the Anahata region, Anahata, Vritti, Vaasana, Chakra, Samskara have enormous importance. Daivi Sampada can be excavated from heart. Asuri Sampada can be buried in the heart. That's the importance of this heart. With that, we will end the brief delineation of Anahata Chakra, and we'll proceed to Vishuddhi Chakra, but that is in our next session. Namaskar all of you.